I have a confession. Ever since a few months back when I deleted Tinder, I swore that I would never download it again. I promised myself that this would be the last time that it was not worth having it downloaded and that I could develop my social skills with women and pursue women in real life in a much more healthier way. And then I got to Vegas. I'm not sure what it was, but I just started to feel more lonely. Even though I'm living with people now, as opposed to when I was in Buffalo, I just still had some sort of feeling in me that wanted to get me to re-download it. And that got me thinking, what really prompted me to download this app again? What is it about dating sites and apps and just social media in general that makes you develop a love-hate relationship towards them? And why is it that more often than not, especially with Tinder, when we log off the app, we feel so much worse than when we logged on? Well, the answer can actually be traced back to the earliest days of human evolution. The goal of human evolution, the goal to stay alive, is to reproduce, and therefore as humans we are biologically wired to try and seek a mate. And obviously there's nothing wrong with this, because if we weren't biologically wired to do this, then humans would probably have been extinct a long time ago. And so while Tinder may not be the most natural way of seeking a mate, it's a way to do it, and especially during these times. Before Corona in BC, it was a lot easier to pursue a relationship because we would go out, we would see people, and we wouldn't have to be forced to be 6 feet away from them at most times. And now we just don't have those opportunities really anymore, and it has caused the biggest loneliness epidemic on the planet. It has been rising a lot, but with Corona, it was pretty exponential, and now, depression and suicide rates are so much higher than they've ever been. And so we've turned to Tinder to try and fill that void that so many of us are feeling right now that we cannot fill in real life. But I bet you weren't just re-downloading and deleting Tinder during the pandemic, it happened before it. And the reason that we really do this, I believe, is because of our incessant need for external validation. Now, where does this need come from? From an early age, we are taught to value the opinions of others so much more highly than the opinions of ourselves, unless you had really good parents. Now, starting from the ages of 0 to the ages of 4, that's when your brain is really going to develop. And the way that it develops depends on what you are consuming from ages 0 to 4, and a lot of it is also what your parents tell you what is right and wrong. Your entire identity and your beliefs weren't even shaped by you. They were shaped by society, and they were shaped by your parents. This is where all of your beliefs about yourself, that you're not good enough, that you need validation from other people, that you need to be liked, it all comes from society and from how you were developed during that young age. And it's a really terrible cycle because everyone else was kind of developed this way. So we think it's normal to act this way. We think it's normal to always be in a state where we should be seeking validation, and so nobody questions it. Everyone is just so caught in this loop of just judging each other if you don't have enough money, enough followers, all this superficial bullshit. And this isn't just with Tinder, this is with all social media. What social media has really created is an era where attention is the biggest currency. I actually had one of my roommates who was talking about why people shouldn't quit social media, and he was like, why are people doing this, quitting social media for a month or a couple years or not using it at all? It basically just makes you nothing, and that is not the right way to think. What these apps have created, the new normal in society, is seeking as much external validation as possible. And it's not like I'm not guilty of this. At some level, I have to get attention if I want to grow my YouTube channel. And because of that, when a video does poorly, when I don't get as much likes on an Instagram, I can relate heavy to the same feeling that a lot of you guys are getting when you don't get any matches on Tinder. And to tell you the complete truth, when I came here and when I had it downloaded for a couple days and when I was swiping through my phone, I got 0 matches. I felt awful about myself. And what's so funny about this is the fact that I probably wouldn't even have met up with any of my matches. Maybe one of my matches, right? Like, we swipe right so much until we finally get that match. It gives us that nice dopamine hit, and then we talk to them for a few messages or so, and then we never speak to them again. I bet that's what the majority of your matches look like on Tinder. So why do you do it? And why is this the new normal in society? It's because these platforms are super addicting. It's so easy on Tinder to just swipe right and receive an instant dopamine rush from a single match. You are never going to be satisfied if you are constantly seeking something from someone else. And this is the reason why we feel so lonely in the pandemic. It is because the society we live in now craves external validation, and that's how we based our self-worth. So when we're alone and we aren't able to get that in real life, then it basically makes us feel worthless. So what you need to do is spend all of that incredible amount of energy that you expend to try to get others to like you or to try to get that next dopamine rush from social media, and expend all of that energy on yourself and start developing self-love. The greatest and most fulfilling form of validation is the validation that you put in yourself. And the only reason any of us feel like we aren't good enough is because of the way that we were conditioned as a child and the way we've been conditioned since then. If we lived in a society where eating cardboard would be considered cool and normal, it would be cool and normal. That might be a terrible example, but what I'm trying to say is the only reason that you feel all of these negative emotions is because of your conditioning that you were brought up, and you need to start taking actionable steps to remove that conditioning and put in new beliefs into your mind. So the whole process of breaking the cycle of re-downloading and deleting Tinder over and over again can be first achieved by identifying and realizing that the reason you're doing this is for a negative thing and for the human conditioning that you've been brought up in. And then next, building lasting, true fulfillment and confidence. You are powerful as hell. I don't think that so many people, I try to tell this every single day, everybody has a unique gift, a unique passion that they can give to the world that really lights them on fire. And you don't know that, and you can't find that if you're constantly trying to seek it from others. To really change those beliefs, you need to change your internal dialogue. And a lot of people do this, and I certainly do this by meditating, and I meditate on my thoughts. If I have negative thoughts that arise frequently, that's going to push me more to do negative things and seek more external validation, like downloading Tinder, like being on social media all day. So it all starts with the thoughts that you're telling yourself on a daily basis. And if you can start to identify this when they arise and then just completely destroy them and change them with a optimistic thought or a positive thought about yourself, that's the first step to really conquering this terrible cycle of needing to feel validated and then deleting, re-downloading Tinder. And what that really reveals is the paradox that what you've been trying to seek for so long in others and in your environment has really just been within yourself this whole time. Thank you very much for watching this video. I can talk more about belief systems and how to break them in another video. If you guys want that, you can leave a comment below, leave a like if you enjoyed this video and it helped you. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.